Hello, my name is Chelsea Haddix, and my speech topic is bullying should be legislated. Think about what it would be like to wake up every morning and not want to go to school because you are worried about being picked on. Maybe someone makes fun of you in class, leaves you out at lunch, or posts something embarrassing about you online. Instead of being able to focus on school, you're worried about what might happen next. Bullying is something that happens to a lot of students, or they see someone else get bullied. It can happen in the classroom, in the hallway, on the bus, or even online. With social media and phones, bullying can also continue after students leave school. I believe bullying should be legislated because students deserve to feel safe at school. Public schools should be required to have a clear anti-bullying policies that explain how bullying is reported, investigated, and handled. First, bullying is still a major problem for students. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention's 2023 Youth Risk Behavior Survey, 19% of high school students said they had been bullied at school. The CDC also found that 16% had experienced electronic bullying. The CDC is a reliable source because it collects information about the health and experiences of young people across the country. These numbers are important because they show that bullying is not something that only happens once in a while. It is something that many students deal with. Being bullied can make students dread going to school and can make it harder for them to concentrate in class. It can also be difficult to get away from bullying now because of social media. Even when a student gets home from school, they can still receive hurtful messages or see people posting things about them. A student should be able to go home and feel safe instead of worrying about what might be waiting for them on their phone. I think everyone can agree that students should be able to go to school without feeling afraid or uncomfortable. School should be a place where students can learn and be themselves. Since bullying continues to be a problem, we also need to look at how schools are currently handling it. One issue is that every school may handle bullying differently. Some schools have strong policies and clear steps for dealing with bullying, while others may not have the same procedures. This can make it confusing for students who are trying to get help. According to stopbullying.gov, which is a website from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, schools should have clear rules about bullying and explain how students can report it. Schools should also have a plan for investigating reports and responding to them. Having these rules matters because students need to know what will happen when they speak up. Imagine finally telling a teacher or another adult that you are being bullied and then feeling like nothing changes. After that, you might not want to report it again. Students may also be afraid to report bullying because they are worried about making the situation worse. They may think that the bully will find out who reported them, and that other students will make fun of them for speaking up. Schools need to make sure that students have a safe way to report bullying and that they will not be punished for asking for help. This is where I believe legislation can make a difference. I am not saying that the government should decide exactly how the school should handle it. Every situation is different, and teachers and administrators should still have some flexibility. Instead, I believe state laws should require every public school to have a certain basic protection in place. First, schools should have a clear definition of bullying. Students and parents should not have to guess about what counts as bullying or what behavior should be reported. Second, students should have an easy way to report bullying. They that could be through a teacher, counselor, principal, or even an online reporting system. Third, schools should be required to investigate reports instead of ignoring them or putting them off for too long. Schools should have reasonable consequences for students who bully others. I don't think every situation should automatically have this exact same punishment. The school should be able to look at what happened and decide what response makes sense. Another important part of the policy should be protecting students who report bullying. Students should not have to worry that speaking up will cause even more of a problem for them. These ideas are already being used in different places. StopBullying.gov explains that many states have laws and policies that require schools to have procedures for dealing with bullying. So requiring schools to have stronger policies is not something completely new. Some people may think that bullying should just be handled by individual schools and that the government should stay out of it. And I can understand that because teachers and administrators know their students and schools better than lawmakers do. However, I don't think having a law means schools have to lose all of that control. A law could simply give schools a basic set of requirements that every public school should have to follow. Schools could still decide how to handle individual situations. To me, that seems fair. Students should have the same basic protection whether they attend one public school or another. Most importantly, the goal should not just be to punish students. The goal should be to stop bullying from happening and make sure students know that they can get help when it does. When students feel safe, they have a better chance of focusing on school and enjoying being around their friends and teachers. They should not have to spend their school day wondering who is going to make fun of them or what someone might post about them later. Bullying is still affecting a lot of students, both at school and online. We already know that it happens, and we already know that schools have ways to address it. What we need is more consistency. Public schools should be required by state law to have clear anti-bullying policies. Those policies should explain what bullying is, how students can report it, how schools should investigate it, and how students will be protected after they report it. If we expect students to come to school, learn, and do their best, then we also need to make sure that they feel safe while they're there. No student should have to dread going to school because they are afraid of being bullied. Schools should be a place where students feel safe enough to learn, grow, and be themselves.